I love the Dorito taco from Taco Bell. Whatever stoner in that like think tank was like, what if we made the shell a Dorito? Deserves the world.
So today, Mikaela, we're gonna be ranking our top 5 favorite chips. Now there is already a list over on ranker.com where thousands of people have already voted on what their favorite chips are, so make sure you guys get over there, vote your favorites to the top, and also just throughout the episode, we're gonna be comparing our lists with the general public's lists. And so without further ado, let's just get into it. What's your number 5?
So my number 5 was actually not ranked on this list unless I'm completely blind. Ruffles. I love Ruffles.
Yeah, Ruffles are good.
They're such a great party snack because it's like they just go with all the dips.
Because you'd think like standard Lays or something, but you know when you dip a Lay into it breaks. Let's try one.
Let's try one of these. I think they're perfect size. They got a cute little design on them.
That's sort of what they got going for them. When you think of Ruffles, you think of like, oh, those are the ones with the things.
Ruffles have that extra something, you know what it is. Riches.
I also love that they're so greasy. The inside of the bag is so greasy. That's how you know it's good.
We'll get one more of that.
What's your number 5?
So my number 5 is Ranker's number 16. Crunchy Cheetos. They're so good.
Like, I always know Cheetos are good, but I don't always go for them because I'm like, I guess I'll have a different chip. But these are like a little hefty.
Honestly, the main reason why I don't go for these all the time is because you're gonna get the orange, you're gonna get the Cheeto fingers, and as you know, I subconsciously use my entire body as a napkin. And so if I'm wearing white, or basically if I'm wearing anything but orange, it's very visible if you're like, oh, you had Cheetos. They're kind of like McDonald's chicken nuggets where like each one is unique.
Yeah, you kind of, I'm like, I feel like this one kind of looks like a blue whale. Do they make them by like this kind of squirting batter in a fryer, and is that why they have such weird shapes?
You know what's funny is I was actually gonna say I don't know how they make them, but that makes a lot of sense to me.
Right? My number 4 is Ranker's number 29. Fritos.
Ah.
What actually brings down points for me with Fritos is I don't necessarily love the color combo they have. It's kind of McDonald's-y.
It's kind of a classic though.
I know it is, but I think that Fritos are cool because they're really, really salty. Like really salty and oily.
And very unique, honestly.
They are. They're a corn chip is what they are. Not a tortilla chip. They're a corn chip.
The only chip that I think really kind of competes with it are the now Tostitos scoops. Like those are basically like, okay, those are Frito ripoffs.
Yeah.
They're also made by Frito-Lay though, so.
Yeah, they're just kind of their own competition at this point. Another thing I really like about Fritos is there's not many chips that like perfectly complement a bean dip.
Yes.
They have the Fritos bean dip. Like that's just like kind of what they go with, which is super weird.
Fritos, it's not even like trashy.
No.
It's like, it goes with stuff.
It goes with everything.
Yeah, you can put this in a nice salad and people are like,
Yeah.
I'd say this is the one chip that I can never stop eating and I won't feel sick and I won't get tired of it.
It's great. It's a great like base chip.
Okay, so my number 4 was Ranker.com's number 19. It's the original Pringles.
The OG Pringles. It's the one different kind of packaging.
Once you pop, the fun don't stop.
I'm one of these chips. So they're delicious. That's why they're my number 4. But in addition to that, this is also the one where you can do the duckless.
That's so fun.
What a fun thing to do for your family and friends. Look at me, I'm a duck.
But it does get to a point eventually, if you're on like the beach, whole family's eating these.
Yeah.
You're sticking your whole hand in this can eventually, and you're just getting sand everywhere in the can. It's a great chip. Do you know what it is? It's a great base chip.
Another great standard base chip. I think this will probably be our last base chip, because we're about to get into the saucy parts of this.
My number 3 is another unrated one. Nacho cheese Bugles.
Bugles are fantastic.
These bad boys right here are stomach ache. They're such a fun shaped chip.
The shape of Bugles? A dazzling sight.
They're like little party hats.
Now I'll tell you what they're like. They're like witch fingers. Oh, you definitely can. You got the nails.
That's what my nails already look like.
Oh, they're so good.
They're so good. These really pack on the flavor, which is why I'm another big fan. It's also a very different cheese from the other cheese chips.
Yeah, most cheese chips don't go this cheesy.
Yeah, this tastes like real nacho cheese. Like you forget about them until you walk into a gas station and you're like, hell yeah, I'll grab a bag of Bugles.
I will get Bugles when it's like really late and I'm like, oh, I gotta run to 7-Eleven. Do you want anything? You're like, give me like a snack. I always get you Bugles because it's like, what a fun chip.
They're like regular chips, but fun.
Cool!
So my number 3 is number 2 on the Ranker chart.
Numero dos?
Cool Ranch Doritos. What I love about the Cool Ranch Doritos is, what about it's cool? Listen, in society, hot is spicy. Cool is usually minty. There's not a lot of mint in this, if any, I don't think.
Well, it's Cool Ranch.
And man, it's good.
It was very good.
I think it's because they couldn't just call it ranch.
It doesn't sound as appealing. And then the blue packaging really is like, it's cool.
This is one of those instances, much like Mountain Dew Code Red, for me at least. Mountain Dew is so good, and what they decided to do was make it red, and it's awesome. Where it's like, okay, the original's fantastic. Here's this sort of like, we're just testing it out spin-off, and now you can get Cool Ranch Doritos freaking everywhere.
On the other end of that, I gotta go with Ranker's number 1 for my number 2, which is Doritos, the nacho cheese. I'm a big cheese gal. I can eat these by the handful.
They pack these with cheese the way they do with Bugles too.
Yes, I love always like in the bag looking for like which chip has the most cheese. That's my favorite game to play. I love also the Dorito taco from Taco Bell. Whenever Stoner in that like think tank was like, what if we made the shell a Dorito? Deserves the world. Like this is the best compliment to a taco in the world.
And the one thing I'll say to that is, honestly, how did it take them that long?
Right?
Another great name, Doritos Locos Tacos.
Doritos Locos Tacos.
My number 2 is Ranker's number 7, Cheetos Puffs.
Can I stop you right there? That's my number 1. This is something that if I am having a rough day, I will finish a bag of these on my own and just be like, I needed this. This was good for my soul.
You kind of can't stop eating them. So there was a movie that we watched all the time growing up that I showed you one time called Little Giants. But the movie starts with them at like a tryout. And one of the kids, who's kind of like one of the loser kids that we root for, he gets like knocked unconscious and it looks like he's bleeding. And they're like, oh no, take off his helmet. He has his lunch in his helmet. And they say like, you can't use your helmet as a lunchbox. And he's like, what else you got in there? And it's Cheetos. The tough coach Ed O'Neill goes,
Crunchy or puffed?
Puffed.
Wimp.
and so I've kind of always been a little weirdly insecure of like, I'm not gonna get the puff Cheetos, those are for wimps.
Have you also ever seen the debate, are Cheetos chips? Of course they're chips, right?
Of course they're chips.
People are like, no. I'm like,
So my number 1 is Ranker's number 8, sour cream and onion Lay's. I will always go for sour cream and onion, whether it's a dip or a chip. It's my favorite like taste. Oh man, those Lay's nail it.
it's a phenomenal combo. I'm a big fan of the bag color. It's just like a fun green.
One of the rare greens in the chip industry.
It makes you think it's healthy.
Yeah, they're not?
Well, there's onions in it, that's a vegetable.
That's true. These are the chips where the only downside of this is like you kind of get bad breath.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the only thing where it's like, I probably wouldn't have eaten this on one of our first dates, but I will now.
There's really not much else to say about it besides like this is the best taste there is for me.
It's a good flavor combo.
And again, these are so thin.
Makes you feel like you've barely eaten anything. We're skinny.
We're so skinny right now. I'm being so bad. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Anyway, guys, there you have it. Those were our favorite chips of all time. Let us know if we missed any of your favorites, or better yet, just get over on Ranker.com and vote your favorites to the top. And Mikaela, as always, let us know in the comments which one of us you think had the best list, or
Who's on top?
who's on top.
Bye.
Bye.